Welcome to St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This college is affiliated to Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak and approved by All India Council for Technical Education. This video lecture is a part of series developed for online classes. Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Tripathi and I am working as an assistant professor at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management since 2015. My areas of interest are data analysis and data visualization, which are recommended to be a data scientist. Welcome to Object Technologies and Programming using Java. In today's video lecture, we will start with Unit 2, which comprise of Introduction to Java and Data Types. In 1990, Sun Microsystems started a project to develop a software for software electronic devices to be controlled by remote. This project was called Stealth Project or Green Project. In 1994, WebRunner was developed, which was Java-based web browser and later renamed as Hot Java. Java programming language was originally developed by Sun Microsystems, which was initiated by James Gosling and released in 1995 as core component of Sun Microsystems Java platform. It was a system-independent language, which was called Oak. Later, it was renamed as Java. After the takeover of Sun Microsystems by Oracle in 2010, it has become an Oracle technology. The latest release in Java is Java SE 8. The symbol of Java is a coffee cup because James Gosling was very fond of coffee. Basic features of Java. The first basic feature is Java is an object-oriented language. So, in Java, everything is an object. Java can be easily extended since it is based on the object model. It focuses on the data rather than the procedure. You already know about the object-oriented programming. So, Java is the first and the very first object-oriented programming language. Platform independent. Java is compiled into a platform independent bytecode. This bytecode has the ability to be executed on different platforms without any modification. So whenever you compile a Java program, it is being compiled into a bytecode rather into a machine code. This bytecode can be executed on any machine. Hence, Java is platform independent. Simple. Java is designed to be easy to learn and use. It doesn't require complex programming skills. So a new programmer or a beginner can very well make a program in Java. Secure. With Java secure feature, it enables to develop virus-free, tamper-free systems. Authentication techniques are based on the public key encryption. So in Java, the program is so much secure because it is run inside the Java virtual machine and it don't tamper the real-time OS. Architecture neutral. Java compiler generates an architecture neutral object file format called bytecode, which makes the compiled code executable on many processors with the presence of Java runtime system. So whenever you compile a Java program, then it produces a bytecode. This bytecode can be executed on any processor, hence it needs only Java runtime system to be installed on that machine. So Java is architectural neutral. Portable. Being architecture neutral and having no implementation dependent aspects of the specification makes Java portable. So Java programs are portable and can be run on any browser or any machine or any platform. Robust. Java makes an effort to eliminate the error-prone situations by emphasizing mainly on compile time error checking and runtime error checking. So there are two types of error checking. One is at the compile time when you are compiling the code, and the other is at the runtime, which is executed by Java interpreter. Hence, Java programs are robust because if there is any error, then you can very well debug the program. Multi-threaded. The programs can perform many tasks simultaneously. Java was the first programming language to introduce the multi-threading. In the multi-threading, what happens? A process can be divided into a lightweight threads which are executed using the same memory of the process. Hence, the CPU performance is increased. Interpreted. Java bytecode is translated on the fly to native machine instructions and is not stored anywhere. Java interpreter is a fast machine. Hence, it converts the code from the bytecode into a machine code on the fly and doesn't store this object state. High performance. With the use of just-in-time compiler, Java enables high performance. Java is a dynamic language which can adapt environment changes. So whenever you are using a Java, you are getting a high performance on the machine. Distributed. Java is designed for the distributed environment on the internet. Java programs are portable and are designed to support network applications. Hence, after the banning of C++ and C programs on the internet, Java was the language which introduced the applet programming, and these applets can be run on the browser and distributed without any headache of virus situations. Hence, Java is a distributed language. JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Java is both compiled and interpreted language. Java Virtual Machine is an abstract virtual machine that acts as an interpreter for the bytecode. A bytecode helps the code to be executed in multiple environments. JVM maintains security and portability features as JVM prevents each Java program to have any side effects. It happens in these two phases. First, Java compiler converts the source code into intermediate code, which is known as the bytecode. And second, Java interpreter converts the bytecode into the native machine codes. You can see in this diagram that we have a source code on the extreme left hand side. Then Java compiler executes this source code and convert it into a bytecode. This bytecode is later executed by Java interpreter and is converted into a machine code. This machine code is then run on our machine. JVM differs from one platform to another. JVM allows Java to maintain security and portability. JVM knows nothing about the Java source code. It knows only about the bytecode. Hence, it eliminates running malicious codes. The code inside the JVM boundary cannot go beyond the security constraints. JVM also provides memory management by providing garbage collection that enables Java programmer to focus more on the business logic rather than system memory allocations. JVM has no information about the high-level source code. As every program is executed inside the JVM environment, it provides the inherent security. Hence, you can see from here that JVM is the main platform for the Java. JVM maintains the garbage collection. Hence, if there is any object which has gone out of scope, then as a programmer you needn't need to worry about that because JVM will handle the garbage collection of it. Also, JVM provides the security of it because all the programs are executed inside the JVM only, so the programs are not going to hurt our file system and the OS. Bytecode. Bytecode is highly optimized set of instructions that is processed by Java virtual machine. Using javac command, the Java source code compiled into a .class file that contains the bytecode. The JVM is then used to read bytecode contained in the .class binary file. The benefit of using the bytecode is that the source code need only to be compiled once and will run on any platform without needing recompilation. It is in this bytecode which makes the Java program secure and robust. No malicious activity can be done in the bytecode as it can be detected by the JVM as an interpreter. Bytecode makes the distribution property of the Java successful. Hence, what is a bytecode? A bytecode is a highly optimized set of instructions which is generated by the Java compiler and is executed by the Java interpreter. So, bytecode is the thing which is being distributed to platform, and you need only a Java interpreter to execute this bytecode. Hence, Java is portable and secure because of this bytecode. Data type. Data type specifies the type of value and the type of operations performed on that value. The kind of data that variables hold in a programming language are called the data types. Java is a strongly typed language. Hence, every variable must be declared before it is used. Thus, all the variables in the Java have a data type. You can very well say that data types are means to identify the type of data and the associated operations of handling it. There are basically two types of data type in the Java. One is the primitive data type, which is being provided by the Java language, and the other is the reference or object data type, which is being created by the programmer. Primitive data type. There are 8 primitive data types supported by the Java language. Primitive data types are predefined by the language and are named by a keyword. These are also called fundamental data type. So primitive data type basically falls into two categories. One is the numeric data type, the other is the non-numeric data type. Inside the numeric data type, we have the two objects like integer and floating point. Now, what is an integer? And integers are the whole value signed or unsigned numbers. There are basically 4 types of integers available in the Java: byte, short, int, and long. Here you can see the size and the range of these integer data type. For example, byte has the 8 bits and its range starts from -128 to 127. Next is the short, having 16 bits, that is 2 byte, which ranges from -32768 to 32767. Next we have the integer, which is of 32 bits, that is 4 bytes, and the long, which is 64 bits, that is 8 bytes. The next type of numeric data type is floating point. Floating point numbers are also called the real numbers, and they are used for fractional calculations. These contain fractional or the decimal part. There are two types of floating point. One is the float, the other is the double. The float has the 32 bits, that is of 4 bytes, and the double has the double precision value, that is of 64 bit, that is 8 bytes. Non-numeric data type. Non-numeric data type is of two types. One is the character, the other is the boolean. Character is used to store a character constant Java provides the character data type called the char. It is 16 bits size and ranges from 0 to 65536. There are no negative characters in the Java. Boolean. It is used to test the particular condition during the execution of a program. Boolean data type represent one bit of information. They have only two possible values. One is true, the other is false. Default value of Boolean is false. After the introduction of primitive data types, let me introduce you with the non-primitive data types. They are derived from the primitive data types of Java. The first is array. An array is a group of homogeneous data elements that are referred to by a common name. Its syntax is you have to write the data type, then the name of the array, then new operator and the data type following the size of the array. Arrays are basically two types. One is one-dimensional, the other is multi-dimensional. Second non-primitive data type is interface. An interface is basically a kind of a class. It is used to define the behavior of a class. That is, using interface, one can specify what a class must do, but now how it does. Any number of classes can implement this interface. The syntax of declaration of an interface is you have to write the keyword interface followed by the name of the interface, and then you have variable declaration and the method declaration. An interface contains the constant values, that is you have already the final variables in the interface, and some of the method declarations. Method in interface are only declared and they don't have any body, that is they are not implemented. Class. A class is a derived data type and defined by the user. A class is a collection of objects and is a template which provides the basic framework of an object. The syntax for declaring a class is that you have to write the class keyword followed by the class name, then you have the data types and the variables name followed by some of the methods defined inside the class. These are the member variables and the member functions of the class. Java literals. A literal is a source code representation of a fixed value. They are represented directly in the code without any computation. Literals can be assigned to any primitive data variable. For example, you can write byte a equals 68, or you can say char a equals to a. Here char is a data type, the small a is the variable name, and the capital A is the literal. Variables. Variables are nothing but reserved memory locations to store some values. A variable is defined by the combination of an identifier, a type, and an optional initializer. In addition, all variables have a scope, which defines their visibility and a lifetime. Syntax for declaration of a variable is that you have to begin with the data type, then you give the variable name, and then after the assignment operator you give its value. For example, you can write int a, b, c. You have two types of initialization in the variable section. The first is the static initialization, when the variables are given the values in the program. For example, a equals to 10 or b equals to 5. The second is the dynamic initialization, when the variables are initialized through an expression like c equals a divided by b. This is the dynamic value which is being computed at the runtime. There are three kinds of variables in Java: local variable, instance variable, and class or static variables. To begin with the local variables are declared in the methods, constructors, or the blocks. Local variables are created when the method, a constructor or a block is entered, and the variable will be destroyed once it exits the method, constructor or the block. Access modifiers cannot be used for the local variables. Likewise, you cannot use the private, protected or public access modifier for the local variables. Local variables are visible only within the declared the method, constructor or the block. And local variables are implemented at the stack level internally. That is, you have a stack maintained for the variable's name in the local variable. There is no default value for the local variable, so a local variable should be declared and an initial value should be assigned to them before the first use. Otherwise, Java compiler will throw an error. Instance variables. Instance variables are declared in a class but outside a method, constructor or any block. When a space is allocated for an object in the heap memory, a slot for each instance variable value is also created. Instance variables are created when an object is created with the use of the keyword new and are destroyed when the object is destroyed by the garbage collection. Instance variables can be declared in a class level before or after the use. Access modifiers can be given for the instance variable. So you can write private, protected or public access modifier before the instance variable name. The instance variables are visible for all the methods, constructor and the block which are declared inside the class. Instance variables have the default value. For numbers, the default value is 0. For booleans, it is false. And for the object reference, it is null. So you can write object reference dot variable name for accessing the instance variables. Class or static variables. Class variables are also known as static variables because they are declared with the keyword static in a class but outside a method, constructor or a block. There would only be one copy of each class variable per class, regardless of how many objects are created from it. So static variables are stored in the static memory. Static variables are created when the program starts and are destroyed when the program stops. The visibility is similar to the instance variable. Default values are also the same as the instance variable. Likewise, you have the number for the 0, then you have false value for the booleans, and you have the null as the value for object references. Static variables can be accessed by calling the class name. So you have to write class name followed by the dot operator and then the static variable name to access them. Based on the today's session, here are some questions which you should answer. The first question is, you have to briefly explain the features of Java. Next question is, what is a bytecode in Java? Third question is, what is JVM and what is its role in program execution? Fourth question is, what are different types of data types available in Java? And the last question is, what is a variable? And you have to describe the different types of variables which are in Java. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you have learned about the Java introduction. Hence, it was named as Oak language, then it becomes a Java in 1995. You also learn about the bytecode, JVM and some of the data types which are available in Java, likewise the primitive data types and the derived data types. Also, you need to learn about the variables which are of different types like local variable, instance variable and class variables.